Welcome to the best practices for design collaboration in Revit, exploring the bridge tool. To kick things off today here, we will cover 4 main learning objectives, all center around how Bridge fits into a Revit workflow and how it can support collaboration. But before we dive into all of that, I want to take a quick look and talk about the Autodesk Construction Cloud a little bit. Because not everyone may be working in BIM Collaborate Pro or familiar of how these tools fit together. And if we're going to explore the design collaboration and bridge effectively, it's helpful to first understand what they're built on and how they're connected. So we start off with the ACC, and then we'll move to the BIM Collaborate Pro and Bridge, and then we'll move into the design collaboration and how they work, how teams share a Revit model in a structured way, and how Bridge extended even further. And we'll end it with a Q&A. So let's get to it. So I know Annalisa mentioned this already a little bit earlier about it, so I'm just going to go in fairly briefly. So why does it matter? The demand for the efficient design collaboration is growing, and the AEC industry needs to build 13,000 buildings per day to meet urbanization demand by 2050. Yet 58% of the owners are now prefer design build over traditional design bid build because it finished projects 102% faster. Despite this, 95% of project data goes unused and leading to inefficiency. So the solution: stronger collaboration, better data retention, and smarter technology solution. And this could not be done without Revit with Autodesk Construction Cloud. And if you don't know, the ACC already is more than just a new name for BIM 360. It's a full platform that connects the entire project from design through construction to operation. This next few slide, I'm going to highlight the main product of the Autodesk Construction Cloud, but I want to point out how this connect backs together in Bridge and Design and Revit workflow. And for those who may not be familiar with the ACC or confused with BIM 360, ACC is a new version of BIM 360 and is made up of 3 main products: BIM Collaborate Pro for design collaboration and Cloud-Workshared, Autodesk Takeoff for quantification, and Autodesk Build for project execution. For the bridge function access, you can access the bridge tool from any of these products. So that's the short intro to the ACC, though our focus today is on its use within BIM Collaborate Pro, specifically the Revit workflow. That's because Bridge in this context works through the design collaboration module, which enable cross-project model sharing in a controlled and connected way. So if you're looking to use Bridge for design for Revit, it's start with having access to BIM Collaborate Pro. Now that we established that Bridge for Revit lives within the design collaboration module of BIM Collaborate Pro, and assuming that you do have BIM Collaborate Pro license, and this may be your first time looking to use the Bridge tool, let's take a quick look at where to actually find it. You'll start by signing into your ACC account, and you're going to be selecting your project. And if the design collaboration module is not visible to your quick access already, you can change it. And once you're in the design collaboration module, you'll see the Bridge tab, and this is where you'll manage connection, share packages between projects. Okay, now that we're cover the foundation, what ACC is and how BIM Collaborate Pro fits into the ecosystem, I want to pause for a moment and show you a quick roadmap for the rest of the today's session. There are 4 main learning objectives I'll be walking you through. I've shuffled the order a little bit to start with the Bridge tool right up in the front, just to make sure we're all grounded on what it is, how it works. From there, we'll move into workflow setup, a few demos, then leveraging the Bridge tool, and then how to optimize data exchange across teams and discipline. So each section is color-coded to help keep things clear, and this layout will help me to stay on track as well. So with that in mind, let's get to it. The bridge tool is a part of the ACC and is built to help teams share design data like Revit model across different projects. This is especially valuable when you're coordinating with outside firms that are using separate ACC projects. Each project stay secure and independent, but teams can still exchange design packages through share folder. That means you can collaborate without giving full project access, which is great for both privacy and accountability. The bridge for design collaboration built on the standard bridge features, but is tailored for a Revit user. It allows you to share sheets, model file across project, even across different accounts, staying in control of what is sent and when. You can automate this process so team always have the latest update, and you can also establish the link between projects without needing full access to the other side. And here's a quick list of what is supported today from Revit Work-Shared Model and Design Collaboration Package to standard files and sheets, including submittal and as-built. Now that we covered what Bridge is, let's take a closer look of how it actually works behind the scene. This is the basic flow of connecting two projects using Bridge. It all starts with project admin sending an invite to another project admin. This could be a different team, a different account, or a different firm entirely. Once the invite is accepted, one-way link is established, allowing design package or anything you want to share flow from source to the bridge project. You'll also notice that this setup is admin driven, meaning only user with the right permission can initiate it. But once it's in place, it becomes a seamless process. So think of it as a foundation of bridge, like automation, schedule, sharing design package control built on top of this one-time connection setup. So now that we got our basics covered, let's look into the ACC design collaboration in terms of Revit side of things. When we think about sharing model outside the firm, it's important to get our own team set up for success. Start with the best practices for design collaboration basics, team folders and permission, then make sure you're using cloud work sharing to keep everything synced. From there, establish how and when the team will share and communicate. As design move forward, structural design packages help keep things clean, and version control ensures everyone working from the right files. So first, it's important to structure your own folders properly. In the project file area, you'll make sure that your team is working in the right discipline folder. If you set up architecture, MEP, structural, interiors, what have you. Then connect to the timeline by creating a dedicated team for each discipline in design collaboration. That's what enables tracking and sharing later on. Set folder permission early. Work in progress and share folders have very different purposes, and assigning project roles early help avoid surprises when it comes to access. From there, we'll move into the cloud collaboration, making sure your models are safe in BIM Collaborate Pro, not on local server. Mixing local and cloud files can break link or create confusion. Next, strong communication makes or break this workflow. So defining upfront how your team will communicate, whether it's Slack, email, ACC issues, Teams, or something else. So expectation around it, make coordination meeting a habit, just like you would do in person teams. Then managing design package is all about structure and predictability. Using consistent publishing cadence, tools like schedule, publish help to automate that, make your naming clear and standardized so no one has to get what's in the package. And also don't forget to notify the team. Just because something has been published doesn't mean it's been seen. On the quality control side of things, make time to regular model audit. This will be your Revit model maintenance. If you haven't put into your practice already, please do. Run clash detection and use change visualization to catch issue early, especially between discipline. And behind all this version control and member permissions, make sure only the right people have access to modify models and that share space truly reflect finalized coordinated work. And I know we talked a lot about just a lot of words here, but before we think about, pushing the models into the consultant, we have to make sure our team is solid. Internal collaboration needs to be clean. Things like structure, permission, design team, and naming convention. If it's just a mess, you'll just be exporting confusion. But once your Revit team has that rhythm, publishing regularly, keep your cloud model clean, then you're ready to bring Bridge into the picture. You can start extending the same workflow across the account confidently, consistently. And the best part is stay clean on both ends because the receiving team can see the consume what they need on their own schedule. Now that we cover a lot of why and a big picture of internal and external collaboration, let's dive into what actually looks like in the inside the bridge on the ACC. So on the bridge page, you'll notice it's organized into 3 tabs. The bridge projects shows which project has been bridged. Outgoing is everything your team has shared out, and incoming is everything that comes into your project from other source. This layout gives you a quick snapshot of who you're collaborating with and what's flowing where. Making sure your team always have the latest information and it's super clean and simple. And up next, I do have a few demos. So we're just going to go, from the basic, set up the connection, schedule, publish, sharing design package, and sharing files through folders. So a note here, you'll see several split screen in series of demos. On the left side will represent the architect's ACC or Revit. On the right side will represent the consultant ACC or Revit or other software. So for this demo, I'm walking you through how to set up the bridge connection between 2 projects. So I'm on the architecture side. I'm already in Bridge. I have a project admin, right? So I'm going to go ahead and send the mechanical engineer to bridge my project. You'll see that my screen is pending. The engineer will get the email as well, so he just have to click that, or he can refresh. And once he accepts it, the pending status should change to who I bridge to. Up next is how to set up the schedule publish and team automation. So here, I already set up everything. Now I'm in design collaboration. I need to schedule publish and automation with the engineer. So I'm going to click the discipline and schedule publish. I want to set the time and schedule publish with the latest content from Revit. And I'll go ahead select the project, and it will show you the contact for that project. So this is showing that that I'm already connected. Next up is sharing the design package. So here I am on the design collaboration tab, and I'm looking to share package. So I'm going to have to create a package first, and I'm going to go in, click the content I need to share. saving the package, and share, and type in proper name, proper description, checking everything. And everything comes up as I expected. Pretty simple. So up next is sharing files to folder, and what does the receiving team see? Again, I'm on the architecture team and I would like to share a specific folder in Docs. So Doc is a home base for ACC, and I'll be covering these brief shortly in later section. So I'll click share files and folder. I want automatically update to the target project. Then I click the share folder that I need, typed in the proper name and target project. You see the my project and the bridge project, which is two different things. I'll go ahead and share one with automation. I see that I already share. And then on the engineer side, you'll see the red button. I need to review it, or the engineer needs to review it. And then he'll add the folder to the where he wants to save it. And I'm just going to double check, in Docs, if everything is there, looking at it, I can see that that folder is there. Checking my time here, doing good. So now that we look at each step, let's take a look of how it all works all together. So here I am on the left side, the architects, and on the right side is the engineer. You will see here that this will be a series of both Revit and the ACC platform. So coming to the architecture side, and when I want to link a model, you can either go through manage or you can do a new link right there. But this is how you link your model through external resources. I will go to my project folder, and I have everyone else, but I don't have structure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bridge a project. I'm going to send a request. And this is the structural engineer, but I happen to have access to. But you'll see that it's shown as pending. Then on the structural engineer side, I will go, he will also get an email as well. But if it's on ACC, you can just refresh the page. I accepted the connection. See, connected to East Residence Hall. And on the architecture side, I can see that I connected to East Residential Hall structural. I'm looking at the structural model here. I need to share the folder. So also want to get to automatically sync update to target project. I'll enter the proper name and target the project. And on the architecture side, I always come back to to Autodesk Doc just to make sure that everything is there because it is the home base I mentioned earlier. I save on the project folder that I want, and I'm gonna go back to Docs. Just to double check everything. I see that it's there, the structural model from structural engineer. Perfect. So now I'm going to go back to Revit. I'm going to repeat the same process, new link, external resources, and find the folder that I need, and always share coordinate. This process is basically live linking, so you should be using share coordinate if you don't use it already. So it's going to take a couple minutes, and the structural model should show up. Okay, so now I see the structural model show up, but I also see 3 other beams and columns is there. So this is when I'm gonna tell the structural engineer like, hey, can you get rid of that? And yeah, got it. So now I gotta set up the view to publish. So it's gonna be the coordination view, or if you have a different view, please do so. Sync, make sure everything is saved to the cloud, and then I am going to try to publish, and you can refresh. Sometimes I just look at other projects and just come back later. Um, it's showing blue, so publish is done. So I can just click that and then publish it. Again, I always come back to docs just to make sure everything is like, safe, and see the versioning should change. Okay. And then this is when the structural engineer calls the architect and say, hey, I already did it. So if you can just double check. So I'm going to relink it, and that should go away. So this will be the same if you draw something, delete something, uh, repeat the same process. You should get the action in real time. Okay, so up until now, we look at how to set up team and share Revit data. But let's talk about how bridge support information management at scale, especially when you're coordinating with multiple external team. This example represents a real-life project where two main contractors lead a joint venture collaborating with several external design teams. In a setup like this, information flows from many directions and needs to be both controlled and reliable. That's where Bridge really proves its value. They use Autodesk Docs as a common data environment to make sure that everyone has access to the latest project file. Then using Bridge, the main contractor was able to share only what was necessary. And that means that the design team could upload the updates, but the contractor still control the visibility and flow of information. This is a great example of how you can leverage Bridge not just for sharing, but also manage access, streamlining communication, and ensure synchronized collaboration across firm while still maintaining data security and reducing risk. In this scenario, you'll see the setup where a different discipline, architectural, structural, and mechanical, are working across separate ACC accounts. In situations like this, Bridge becomes a tool that ties it all together rather than uploading and downloading file manually or giving external team full access to your project. Bridge lets you securely share what is needed, model a single sheet or a folder with the right team and at the right time. You're not just using Bridge to push data out, you're leveraging it to maintain structural streamlining, coordination, and reducing noises in the process. Each team work in their own environment, but with the shared context. And one of the biggest benefit of using Bridge tool is that beyond just sharing model, is ability to stay in control of your connection over time. Let's say a project wraps up and you no longer want to send update to a particular partner or consultant. You can pause the connection to stop the flow of updates temporarily, or delete it entirely when coordination is complete. And what's important is that doing this doesn't affect your internal workflow or design collaboration timeline. You can make changes to your Bridge setup without impacting how your team works. In a few next demo, I'll be showing you how that works and how to pause the Bridge, and when you need to take a break in coordination and just delete it all, and when you're ready to move on. So in this demo, pausing the Bridge, I would go and it would be project admin. So I can go here and I'm looking at, I click the project, what folders I already have active, and I just simply click pause. So by pausing, this automation. The receiving team will still have access. They still have that folder that we shared earlier. But if I have like, version 2, version 3 of this CAD file, they won't be able to see it. And just so, like I'm done with the project, I just need to remove the bridge connection entirely. So I can go to delete bridge, and it's simple as that. Once the engineers, refresh it, it's like, and the connection is gone, and the engineer will also receive the email as well. So at this point, we cover a lot. I just want to make sure we're conscious of everyone's time here. We saw what bridge looks like in action, from setting up connection to managing outgoing and incoming items and packages. Then we explore how to extend that same structure externally using bridge, using things like schedule publish, team automation, control sharing to collaborate with other firms. We also walk through how to share a design package and what it looks like for the receiving team to view and accept the item in their own bridge project. All of that brings us back to the idea at its core. BIM Collaborate Pro helps team collaborate across discipline, reduce rework, and maintain control over project data throughout the design process. So far, we cover a ton of stuff on Bridge. So we're just going to shift focus a little bit and talk about how we actually manage data across the, discipline. Whether it's architecture, structural, or even external consultant, what you're seeing here is how discipline are tracked on the timeline on the ACC. And this makes it easy to follow package sharing, coordination status, and ensure everyone is aligned. But underneath all of this, there's one key element that making it possible is Autodesk Docs. I know I mentioned a little bit earlier, Docs is really the backbone of the Common Data Environment, or CDE. You'll hear this a lot. It's what's hold everything together. Docs is where all the data is stored, version, and tracking. So when we talked about exchanging design data, we're not talking about moving files around. We're talking about doing it in an organized, transparent, and traceable way. So we just look at Docs and how the tool in exchanging data. Now let's zoom in on how data exchange actually happens when we're working in Revit. Data exchange in Revit typically refer to sharing or linking method. These slides bring it all together, both different types of link we use in Revit and the best practices to go along with them. On the left side, we got the key links type, Revit, IFC, NWC, Revit Cloud-Workshared, and how they're used depending on whether you work internally, externally, or across the project. And on the right side, we got the do's and don'ts, real world habit that can either make or break your life, easier or lead to a lot of confusion and down the road. But so a couple highlights here. Always use share consume folder, not work in progress or for linking. Avoid using Autodesk desktop connector to link Revit files. It's not designed for that. And use overlay instead of attachment when linking models to reduce unnecessary dependency. Okay, I'm looking at my time here. Up until now, we'll focus on exchanging data in Revit model using links, whether within ACC using share folder or across the team using Bridge. But what if the people you're collaborating with aren't using Revit at all? This is where the Revit connector app is the part of the Autodesk data exchange comes in. On the left side, you see here that several items is already available. Autodesk Revit, AutoCAD, Naviswork, Dynamo, other third-party software like SolidWorks, Power BI, Power Automate. And something you may be familiar with is Rhino, which we'll be covering a little bit today. With Autodesk Data Exchange, This tool allows you to share only a relevant portion of your Revit model instead of forcing full Revit file on someone else who doesn't use Revit. So you give them just what they need in the format they can use. And one of the most important thing here to understand of this tool that is designed specifically to share only content of 3D view, not full model, and definitely not on 2D sheets. That's intentional. By limiting the scope to just what is needed, we reduce file size, minimizing upload download time and avoiding overload other teams with irrelevant information. Because it is a cloud-based and is tied to Autodesk Docs, each data exchange is automatically versioned. The neutral format means that the 3D view can be consumed or seen or downloaded by other tools across the Autodesk ecosystem, even tools that aren't Revit. So here we are. On the left side, I have an architecture model, and I need to share something with a consultant who do not use Revit. So I come in here, I'm looking at 3D views, and I am going to do a specific portion of what I need to send. And looking over here, and I'm going to go ahead and click the data exchange. I'm in Revit. I'm going to click data exchange. And I'm going to create data exchange package and a name, proper name, and save to the proper folder of that project. And this is Joe Residence. And if you do have a work in progress folder, and the share folder, please use it accordingly. So here, go ahead and create data exchange on the Revit side. This may take a minute, depending on your connection, how big the model is, etc. So once it's up, I'm here double checking Autodesk Docs just to make sure that it is up. Everything is saved on there. And then this is when I'm going to call the consultant with Rhino, and I download the data exchange. I'm going to go ahead and click load the data exchange and select the project where I want to save. The preview looks good. Sure. And it's just going to go ahead and click load. Downloading. And you'll see here that it does come through. You see the command line up top. See everything in. I'm a layer. I want parameters. Load up. That's fine. And just going to check the layers in Rhino just to make sure that everything does come through. Perfect. And that's how you're using the data exchange, connecting from Revit to Rhino. And I just want to bring it for full circle by revisiting a few key diagrams that represent the workflow that we talked about it today. We spent majority of our time looking into Bridge tool and how it works and how it fits into Revit workflow. The version we've been using is a part of Design Collaboration module in BIM Collaborate Pro. And it's what's allowed teams to share design packages between separated projects without giving full access. It uses a one-way connection, which is great when you need to link model across the firm or ACC account, while still keeping control over what is shared and when. We also introduced the Data Exchange Revit connector, an app that you can download today, a lightweight, targeted way to share a specific portion of Revit model without sending the entire file. It works by creating data exchange, just the content from selected 3D view. So no 2D sheets, no extra model clutter, just the elements that are relevant for coordination or review. And before we wrap up, a quick comparison, sum up the difference between Bridge and data exchange. Bridge is simple and great for sharing full Revit model between ACC project, perfect for a traditional AEC workflow. Data exchange, on the other hand, is more flexible and partial model sharing. Cross-platform coordination and automation, specifically outside the Revit ecosystem, and it really depends on what you're trying to do and who you are collaborating with. And here we are. Okay, so thanks again for joining me today, and I hope you're walking away with a clearer understanding of how tools like Bridge and Design, the data exchange can support smoother, more controlled design collaboration, whether you're working internally or externally.